And so we haven't actually recorded any of our speaking. And so I really appreciate the laughter that we had a minute ago, because now I can edit that and put it someplace and make it sound like we're funny. That's amazing. So, hi, my name is Patrick Shaver. I'm a filmmaker, a husband, a brother, a son, a father, and even a police officer. And the reason why I lead with all those things is because this day and age, all too often, we separate police officers from personal identities. And our work seeks to unite those back together. Since 2013, I've been working on film projects that look at police officers and public servants through a human point of view.
One filmmaker turned officer has made it his mission to strike up a new conversation.
The person you're talking about is a filmmaker named Patrick Shaver. He spent the last 2 years traveling the country.
Our first film, Officer Involved, asked police officers what happens to you after you pull the trigger. To make that film, my wife and I traveled on our days off, meeting with officers and experts across the country, gathering stories of those who have been through the unthinkable.
To this day, we've never sat down as the officers involved and never talked about the shooting, ever.
And the impact that it's had on their lives.
I'd wake up, sit in bed. Well, I didn't even go to sleep. I'd lay down and couldn't sleep and just...
In order to release the film, I took an unpaid leave of absence from work, showing it coast to coast, racking up another 50,000 miles along the way. In the end, while it was denied by over 35 film festivals, it had been shown around the country 90 times at conferences, colleges, police departments, and museums. Since then, we've been working on film projects that go deeper into the realm of public service. While we occasionally release short videos, in the long run, our major focus is on short films and feature-length documentaries.
By that point, he was injured pretty bad from multiple wounds, and
each one meant to reveal new information, add new meaning, and use our strengths to change the world a little piece at a time.
That claim about being afraid, Kyle wasn't afraid.
As we move forward and we work on important film projects, there are so many topics that we want to cover, but they're all related to law enforcement and public service. We've been contacted by people across the country who are interested in getting involved in our long-term projects. And all this time, people have asked us what they can do to support us and make sure that we keep making important pieces of film to share with generations to come. And that's where you come in. Welcome to Patreon. Patreon is an online platform where viewers just like you can contribute to the work that we do and make sure that we keep going. Now, the really cool part is that on the back end, you also get certain perks for your support of our work. So, in some cases, you get to send us your ideas. In other cases, you get to see our films before we release them to the public. If you followed our work for any length of time, you know that I can ask some difficult questions. Have you told your children?
No. But I think there's enough out there with media now and the ability to look up the past that there's no doubt if I don't tell them, they're going to find out.
I'm also known for challenging people's beliefs and memories and bringing about new understandings to old ideas. Is there any explanation for the hesitation then?
No. Not to my knowledge.
As I move forward and make important documentaries, I'd love to have you by our side, supporting us and taking part in this exclusive club where you get to see everything that's going on behind the curtain. And in some cases, you'll get to follow some of our long-term projects well before other people even know that they exist. One of the most amazing parts of having worked so long on our first project is that I was able to meet veteran law enforcement experts, writers, and personalities whose own contributions blazed the trail long before my time.
You do what you have to do to save your life.
Mind reading your report for the court?
Certainly. Saw drunk, arrested same.
And many are just a phone call away from a word of advice or feedback. Some are even ready to share their own perspectives in our future work.
I like this rookie's work. He shows a lot of potential for a young buck. Saw a movie, like same.
Not to mention the countless officers who reach out wanting to share their own stories with us for our future projects. We know we have a bigger calling.
Behind the scenes that we want people to see that.
It's not something I take lightly. I started my career as a beat cop, and somewhere along the last 5 years, I've been given a gift to connect with those in the most trying circumstances and help them to create meaning and find their voice. I invite you to make a pledge today so that you can follow our work and take part in this experiment. And maybe one day we'll be able to look back and say we made an impact together. Thank you.